You are watching a video of a person talking. The face looks real, the skin looks real, the lighting looks real. For the first few seconds, nothing seems unusual. Then the person smiles, and something feels wrong. Maybe the eyes do not move quite naturally. Maybe the mouth changes shape a little too smoothly. Maybe the head turns while the expression stays strangely fixed. You cannot immediately explain the problem, but you feel it. This person looks human. Almost. And somehow, almost makes it worse. Why? Why can an obviously fake cartoon feel completely comfortable, while a nearly perfect artificial human can feel creepy? One famous explanation is called the uncanny. The idea was proposed by Japanese roboticist Masahachi Ro More. Imagine a robot becoming progressively more human-like. At first, increasing realism may make the robot feel more familiar. A machine with a face can seem friendlier than a metal box. Make it more realistic, and familiarity may continue increasing. But then something strange can happen. Before the robot becomes completely convincing, comfort can suddenly fall. Instead of looking human, it looks almost human. And that almost human region is the uncanny. It is a compelling idea, but there is an important detail. Researchers still debate exactly what causes it, and not every experiment produces a perfect valley-shaped response. So the interesting question is not simply whether the uncanny exists. It is what our perception is reacting to. One possibility is mismatch. Your brain is extremely familiar with human faces. You have spent your entire life watching them move. A smile does not involve only the mouth. The cheeks move. The eyes change. The timing matters. The head moves. The voice and expression usually fit together. We rarely think consciously about all of this, but our perceptual system has enormous experience with the pattern. Now imagine an artificial face that is only vaguely human. A cartoon character, for example. You do not expect perfect human movement. If the eyes are too large, that is fine. If the mouth moves strangely, that may simply be the style. Your expectations are low, but make the face almost photorealistic, and the rules change. Now you expect human behavior. A tiny mistake becomes more noticeable. Wait, that means greater realism can actually make imperfections more important. Researchers studying uncanny responses have found evidence that inconsistent realism can increase eeriness. A realistic face with unnatural features may feel stranger than a clearly artificial face. The same problem can happen across different kinds of information. Appearance says human, movement says something else. The voice sounds natural, the lips do not quite match it. The skin looks alive, the eyes remain strangely empty. Each individual error may be small. Together, they create uncertainty. What exactly am I looking at? A recent research framework has proposed that this kind of uncertainty and mismatch may help explain why some human-like robots produce negative reactions. If different signals disagree about what category something belongs to, the result can become perceptually surprising. And surprise is important here. Your brain is constantly making predictions. When you watch someone reach for a cup, you expect certain movements. When someone laughs, you expect certain changes in the face and voice. Most of the time, reality matches those expectations well enough that you barely notice. Artificial humans can break them, not dramatically, just enough. The timing is slightly wrong. The movement is too smooth. A hand briefly changes shape. A tooth disappears. An expression begins but does not finish naturally. That small prediction error becomes noticeable because everything around it looks so convincing. This may be one reason modern artificial intelligence video can feel especially strange. Earlier generated video often looked obviously artificial. Faces melted, objects transformed, bodies moved in impossible ways. There was no serious question about whether it was real. As the technology improves, those large errors disappear, but the remaining mistakes are surrounded by realism. And that changes how we experience them. A strange hand inside a completely fake animation is just animation. A strange hand attached to what appears to be a real person becomes evidence that something is wrong. There may also be more than one explanation for uncanny feelings. Researchers have proposed ideas involving category ambiguity, perceptual mismatch, familiarity, expectations, and even responses to unusual or unhealthy-looking human features. No single theory explains every result. That is worth remembering because the phrase uncanny is often treated as though scientists discovered one specific switch inside the brain. They did not. It is better understood as a useful description of a pattern researchers are still trying to explain. So why can realistic artificial intelligence videos feel creepy? Probably not because humans possess a secret detector designed specifically for artificial intelligence. The technology is far too new for that. A better explanation is that human perception is extremely sensitive to human behavior. As something becomes more human-like, our expectations become more precise. When appearance, motion, expression, or timing fails to match those expectations, the inconsistency becomes unusually noticeable. The strange paradox is that better artificial humans can create smaller mistakes, but smaller mistakes are not always less disturbing. Sometimes realism gives the mistake something it never had before, a convincing human surrounding it. So the next time an artificial intelligence video makes you uncomfortable and you cannot explain why, look again. The problem may not be that it looks fake. It may be that almost everything looks real.